The show looks promising for sure, but something tells me that Tawanda is going to get on my nerves in a way that a person on TV has never done before. What's up, everybody? Welcome and welcome back to the channel. I'm Tammy. This is Tammy Talks. We are here today to talk to Braxtons. This is season 2, episode 1, New Hustles, Old Wounds. Before we get started, please do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, thumbs up the video, hype the video, and then leave your comments down below. I have a goal of hitting 50,000 subs by the end of the year. So if you guys are watching, if you've been here for a while and you have not yet subscribed, please do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. Let's go ahead and get right into the show. This was a decent, I guess, first episode. Not a lot went on, but just enough to make us want to come back next week. Me at least, okay? So the four sisters are all back returning. Tamar mentions in like the opening that she is happy to be back on the Braxtons as a full-time cast member and not just a friend to the show. Remember last year Tamar was saying she was a friend of the show, but she was on every episode, so I don't know what the difference would be. But Tamar is happy to be there. So we start off with this scene, and it's the four sisters, Tony, Tawanda, Trina, and Tamar, and they are at dinner. The energy is definitely off the moment that Tamar comes into the room, okay? We're starting off immediately talking about the situation with their niece, Ashley, who is their brother, Michael Braxton Jr., his daughter. I think his oldest daughter. So Tawanda is telling Tamar, well, we heard that you didn't want to film with the sisters already. Because let's be real, Tawanda, you don't want to film with Tamar. And see, I used to really, really like Tawanda, right? When the show first came out, I always thought Tawanda was cool. But as the seasons went on and as the show progressed, Tawanda gives me that she is a person that, because she's soft-spoken and she's able to stay level-headed and you don't see her doing a lot of yelling, people think that she is always in the right, that she's never the antagonist, and that's not true. Tawanda very much gives me the impression that she is a throw the rock and hide her hand type of person, and I don't like shit like that. I honestly and truly don't. Plus, Tawanda has some hold over Trina, where you can even tell that Trina's relationship with Tamar has changed over the years, and it seems like Trina can't think for herself unless Tawanda is there, or that husband. Okay, so Tamar was saying, well, I was hit with a cease and desist, and she pulls up all this different paperwork. So we then see Tony and Tamar get into it, and Tamar is saying that nobody had her back when it came to the cease and desist. That's what I thought Tamar was saying. I very well could be wrong. Tony feels a way about that because we all know that if Tamar has a fan in the world, it is Toni Braxton, okay? Tamar said that Tony wanted Ashley to appear on the show, and Tony was like, no, I said that your podcast was a chitlin circuit. I said, not a chitlin circuit. Oh my. So then Tamar said, no, you wanted her on the Braxtons. And the way that Trina looked, I said, oh, I think there's some truth to that because Tony was acting very guilty. I'm going to say this. If somebody accuses me of something that myself personally, I know for sure is not true, I didn't do, I'm not going to get the way that Tony got. And Tony is a Libra, okay? I know how Libras operate because I too myself am a Libra, right? Tony was given guilty. Tony was given very guilty. And I think that I think that Trina knows there is some truth to that by some of the faces she was making. I think that there are a lot of times, even though Tony does always have Tamar's back, for the most part, there are some times where we see that Tony does just kind of leave Tamar out to dry to her own devices, all right? So we we rewind back 3 weeks earlier, okay? So I'm assuming they filmed this season over the course of 3 weeks. I hope not. because that's very rushed, but we'll see. So Tamar is out with Ashley, who is her niece, and they're having some drinks. Ashley mentions that she is not been back in Maryland in 10 years, and she has not been back in the States for 5. We know that Ashley has moved over. I think she lives in Spain, if I'm not mistaken. So she says she is never, ever moving back, okay? So Tamar does not believe that it is messy of her to have her niece on her podcast. She sees it as her giving her niece a safe space to have a voice. I'm torn with this, right? I do think that one, I feel like in the black community, we have this habit of what goes on in this house stays in this house. And then it leads to so many other issues and mental incapacities that a lot of people have because now people have, this trauma. Now people have PTSD. Now people have all these other different situations that basically breaks the family apart, right? In this scenario, is Tamar the right place to have her niece on? I don't know. I don't know. I have a niece or nephew on the way, and I would like to believe that they will be able to know that they can confide in me and that I'm going to have their back at all times and that I am a safe space for them. But I think that the bigger issue, this is the issue. We know Tamar is a messy ass person, right? The world does, the fan base does. I'm a person, I see Tamar for what she is, but I also, if Tamar's name is associated, I don't automatically believe that Tamar is in the wrong, and that's what a lot of people do. If it's Tamar versus someone else, a lot of people are like, oh, well, Tamar must be wrong. Tamar's involved, it has to be Tamar's wrong. I don't believe that. I do think that deep down, because we know that Tamar has some issues or she experienced some things within her family. And when she told certain members of her family, they did not take it to task. They didn't believe her. I do think that Tamar is 1000% looking to be a safe space for her niece, a soft landing for her. But because it is Tamar, it's not going to be well received. So Tamar also thinks that Ashley, excuse me, thinks that Ashley has regressed by telling her story because of how the family has chosen to handle things. And we can see this right now. So just what we have seen played out in the media, and then now what I think we're going to see in a little more detail on this show. The rest of the sisters weren't on board, and it doesn't seem like the rest of the sisters or Miss E had Ashley's back. Okay, so we pan over to Trina's house. This scene is juxtaposition Tamar and Ashley, and Trina and Tawanda are over there. And every other word out of Tawanda's mouth is, I'm engaged, I'm engaged, I'm engaged. Girl, good for you. I feel like that man only proposed to you because of the societal pressures and about everybody constantly talking about y'all, saying that man was using you for money. But if you like it, I love it. Congratulations. Trina doesn't know how to use her ninja slushy. Okay. So Tawanda is asking Trina how she feels about the platform Ashley is being given, i.e., how do you feel about our niece going on our sister's platform to talk about the fact that Joe's ex-husband was inappropriate with her? So Trina feels that sometimes people take the opportunity presented to them without thinking of the repercussions. Trina, honestly, I think that in this scene, Trina, it was, to me, it was a little disgusting how Trina is only thinking about herself, right? You're only thinking about yourself because you don't want people to feel as if you condoned what Gabe did or you knew about it and swept it under the rug, right? So Trina feels that she is a victim as well, just in a different way. Trina, you're not a victim. I'm sorry, but you're not. Trina said that because the public was bullying her, and they put some of the tweets on screen. And yeah, there were, I remember when the story broke, and there were a lot of people that were like, "Oh my God, Trina is," because the way that the story came out, For those of you that don't know, okay? So apparently, Gabe never did anything physically with Ashley, to my understanding of the story. But he sent a couple suggestive, inappropriate text messages, allegedly, to Ashley. When Ashley voiced those concerns to, I guess, her aunt, Trina, or to maybe some of the other sisters, Ashley was not believed, and she was almost blamed. She was almost blamed, right? That's what I got from it. I never listened to Tamar's podcast. I don't even know if it actually ever like was posted anywhere. But because of the way that Ashley felt that her family was treating her, she felt ostracized. She felt that nobody believed her, nobody had her back. She ended up moving out of the country. So Trina's standpoint is, well, my number hasn't changed, but yours hasn't. And I just kind of feel like, Trina, you're the aunt. You're her elder. I don't know if it was because Trina was embarrassed about what Gabe did, but I just feel like there was a different way for Trina to handle this. But for you to sit on TV and say that you're a victim and you were bullied, you weren't. Bullying is subjective, but you are not a victim in this, Trina. You're not a victim, right? So Trina feels that this could have been worked out and should have been worked out in private before coming to the public, because she does not believe that family issues should be public. Y'all are a very um vocal family, right? I feel like anytime y'all have an issue with each other, we find out about it because it's on y'all Instagrams and you're unfollowing each other. And then, God forbid, y'all put everything on this show. Now, do I agree that this should have been handled privately? 1000%. But it seems like, according to Ashley, she maybe did try to handle this privately, but you weren't talking to her, you ostracized her. Now, the way that Trina said that, hey, my number didn't change but yours didn't, that makes me think that Trina did reach out to her. But the way that Trina is positioning things, honestly, to me, makes it seem as if Trina is simply trying to hide whatever the issue is. Now, I saw that Trina did, I don't know if it was like a TikTok live or YouTube or something, but Trina is saying how she doesn't like this because Gabe is not here to defend himself. No, he's not. Because, rest in peace, Gabe has passed on a couple of years ago, but I, I feel like the way Trina is handling this is giving, you knew about this then, you chose to turn the other cheek, and you're blaming your niece because now you are getting the repercussions that you think that she's not thinking about. Yikes. It's just, I don't it it makes me look at Trina a different way. I'll say that. Tawanda and this wig are on set acting. Tawanda said that she has had opportunities to star in multiple films, and the one that we see her doing, she is directing as well. Okay. Tamar is getting a liquid butt lift. She got her breasts done. She wants to get her butt done now because she doesn't want to be stacked in the front, flat in the back. Okay. So she says she is in her revenge pretty girl era. What era were you in when you sat up there and lied about your teeth getting knocked out and all that other type of shit? What era were you in then? Because like I haven't forgotten about that, Tamar. I'm giving you grace for this episode, but we will talk about that. So Tamar is scared of the needles and she leaves, but then realizes that she left her purse. And so she goes back. Tamar always got a little random ass assistant. So they go back up there because she said that I guess she knows this lady and she will feel bad if they set all this stuff up for her and they put out the materials and everything that they need to do, and she runs out. So Tamar asks them how many needles there are, and there are 28 needles needed for the procedure. She has laughing gas. She said that she took some I think she said Xanax, and she also also had some champagne. I mean, girl, I hope it is everything you wanted it to be. Because later in the episode, when you're at your podcast and you're talking about how your body is giving, it looked like nothing changed with your butt. I'm gonna be real with you, Tamar. Maybe it didn't settle yet. Maybe it didn't like plump up yet, but it. We get this very awkward, unnecessary scene with Trina and Miss E, where Trina is apparently now a real estate agent. So kudos to her. Is bar chick still a thing? People in Atlanta, does Trina not have bar chick still? Remember, she had the mobile bar chick, she had that brick and mortar. Remember, because oh Lord, when Tamar said that they should have French fries on the menu and Trina was losing her shit about it, she don't have that no more, or is this in addition to? Nonetheless, they're talking about Tawanda's bachelorette weekend is going to be happening in Mexico. And Miss E says she does not miss being married. Girl, we can't tell because you still bitter about Daddy Braxton moving on. So like this entire scene was more confessional than anything. I'm gonna be real with y'all. We don't need Miss E on the show. We don't need Miss E on the show. Truth be told, nobody cares what that older woman is doing in her day-to-day life. I don't need to see Miss E waking up and making breakfast. I just don't. I don't. I feel like it would be more entertaining if y'all would get Mikey on the show. Just see some of y'all kids. Y'all kids have to be 18 by now. I think the only one whose kids are not 18, obviously Logan, but I don't think Tawanda's daughter is 18. Braxton has to be 18 by now. But like I just so the entire scene basically is Trina's confessional talking about how Tawanda is a Virgo and how everything has to be like she's a perfectionist about everything. Most Virgos are. Most are. So we then see Tony meeting with her team. So she's working with a producer about this TV show that she wants to create about alimony. And then she mentioned that she herself pays alimony. I said, are you? To Carrie? Why is Tony paying alimony to Carrie? Still. They've been divorced. Wow. Tony, who is your lawyer? You should not be paying the alimony to Carrie's ass still. Oh my God, Carrie. Oh my God, Carrie. You didn't keep working after the divorce? Okay. But Tony tells this story about this like weird um situation about a man is like supposed to be Tony, but he's not. And then the real Tony, like I stopped listening because it sounded stupid, but the producer was on board. She's the professional. The last scene is Tamar's podcast, okay? So Tamar is meeting up with Taz, who's on the podcast with her. Isn't Taz the lady that like the healer lady that she was working with on that one god awful solo show she had? Is that her? But that's who she's doing the podcast with. And so they have prayer. Right after prayer, not even a breath later, they're talking about let's get shots. Oh my. And then we get this vulgar ass toast right after. I said, what's happening? Now, when I do my toast up to it, down to it, we do it because we used to it. Fuck those who can't do it. Drink, motherfucker, drink. Now, that's the toast that I do when we do our toast. But we don't do it right after praying, okay? And then Tamar said in like a voiceover or a confessional that family secrets suck and she wants Ashley to tell her story. And Ashley picks up the mic very dramatic like, and then that's the end of the episode. I enjoyed it. I think that it was a lot better than last season where it was so heavy because of Tracy's passing, and that's what a lot of the focus was on. This is going to be messy. The season's going to be messy. But I enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode. Subscribe to the channel, thumbs up the video, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.